Hello, 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 hello. Yay! We are live and I'm feeling alive. I hope you are too. Welcome to my workshop on manifesting. I'm Nazish, your host today, and we're going to have an amazing journey. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you with all my heart for all the people who have shown so much interest and showing up today. So I'm just going to give you all a few minutes to log in, get centered, settle down, and join me. We are live and rock and rolling. I hope you can hear me. Hi, hi, hi. Ah, here you are. I can see you. That's great. So you'll see that there is a chat box on the right, and you can put your comments there. Keep it short so that I can follow along as I speak. Now, let's see if I can share my PowerPoint. Okay, so just a bit about me whilst we're waiting for everyone to settle down. I'm Nazish Qazi. I'm a life coach and more of a mind coach. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I started off as a training and development officer, and I have lots of experience working with people who have all kinds of psychological issues. So my background is in psychology. And I've been dabbling and interested in psychology since I was a child, mainly because what fascinated me is the hidden parts of our psychic abilities. And that's one of the things I'm going to be talking with you about today. Now, I know a lot of you have done bits and pieces on manifesting, and some of you had success. And I'm guessing you've had a lot of difficulties, and maybe when things haven't actually worked out for you. So that's why we're here today to talk about manifesting. And I'm going to talk about some of the things that we often do which doesn't work. I'm not going to call them mistakes because there are no mistakes, but yeah, you're going to be able to understand some of the problem issues that we often don't even know that we're doing, and hopefully understand how to put it right. So today I'm going to be talking about manifesting what you really want, not me, what you really want. I'm going to talk a little bit about the brain and how our psychology influences what we want to manifest, and how what's really going on in here. Because when you understand what's going on in here, then you can understand what influences your outer world. So then we can understand what actually stops us from manifesting what we want. And then I'm going to give you the secrets, the 5 key principles to making what you want become your reality, become the reality. And then we are even going to practice a little bit of what I'll talk about. So we're going to practice a meditation and apply it to your own goals. Okay, I hope that sounds good to you. If you're with me, say hi on the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm just going to now try and get my PowerPoint up. Let's hopefully, let me know if you can see this. Okay. Let's share my screen. Okay. Hi guys, welcome. So you see, okay, there we go. Now, brilliant. Just looking at the chats. Hi, 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 V. Hi, Karina. Hi, Vlad. Ah, great. They're all here. Okay, so we can see it. Wonderful. And you can hear me clearly. Full. Okay, let's get started. So, when I put this on slideshow, I'm not sure whether you actually see it as a slideshow. So let's try slideshow. Next. So this is what we're going to cover today, which I already told you about. Manifesting what you really want. We're going to talk about the brain and what stops it working. 5 key principles and how to practice the visualization that makes things come into your reality. Okay, and the magic. So what is manifesting? Well, in the dictionary it says to make an intention real or to make something visible or obvious. That's what it, in simple terms, what it means to manifest. And we have this amazing and very clever, efficient brain. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on inside our head, just to begin with. And maybe you've heard of this thing. It's called the reticular activating system. You don't need to remember any of this. It's a bunch of neurons that have, it's like a network of neurons. It's right here at the back of our heads. And it is always functioning. It's like a filter that blocks out all the unnecessary stuff. Because if you think about it, we've got thousands of bits of information coming into our brains all the time from all that we see and all that's going on. And like you're listening to me speaking, but there's also other stuff going on. But you tend to filter out the things that are unnecessary for your conscious brain to deal with, because your conscious brain can only deal with a small amount of information at a time. So this clever brain system filters out anything that you don't pay attention to. So I'm sure you've heard of this phrase that what you pay more attention to is what you see or hear or feel, perceive more of, okay? And that directly affects what you manifest. I'm going to talk more about focusing on what you really want. There's another clever thing that our brains do, and that is when we use our imagination, this amazing... Okay, thank you. That was my husband telling me that you're not seeing the slides. Okay, let's try. Okay. Why is the slide? Can you not see the slides? You can see this. Can you see the slides? This one. Can you see the slide that shows the brain picture? I'm just going to start. Okay, so I don't know why my hubby just said he can't see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you, Anastasia. So you can see the slide. Okay, I'm just going to keep it on the app. I'm sorry, you can see the background, but not the slideshow. Okay. How about, right. So can you see slide 3 now with the fairy godmother? Okay. Sorry, little technical hitch here, but I'm going to keep going. Okay. So anyway, back to where I was, what I was speaking about. The brain has another very clever system. Thank you. And that is our imaginations. We don't give our imaginations enough credit. But when we imagine something, and it always starts off with our imagination, whatever we want to create or bring into our lives, become our reality, starts off in our imagination. Now, here's the thing. Our subconscious brain doesn't know the difference between what is real that we've actually seen in front of us and what is imagined. So when we visualize or when we create a picture in our minds of the thing we want to create and we imagine it, the subconscious brain doesn't know the difference. Why is that relevant? Well, because it starts to create the thing that you've already imagined, thinking it's already real. Now, that sounds a bit weird, right? I'm going to explain exactly how that works and why this is so relevant for manifesting. Okay? Everyone still with me? Is this making sense? So I know that you've all heard about the law of attraction, and that's basically what manifesting is based on. So some of the things that have happened in your life that you probably weren't even aware of has been using this law of attraction to manifest it into your lives. I know you've already heard about this. For example, you've probably heard about superstitions, like seeing a white cat is, I don't know, lucky, or seeing a black cat is unlucky, so that's the opposite. Perhaps you've heard about superstitions like finding a four-leaf green clover, and so that's lucky, or finding a penny, and that's lucky. And so when you find these things that are lucky, somehow luck follows you into your day. Has that ever happened? If you believe it, it does. Or the opposite. Perhaps you wake up one morning and you look at the clock and go, oh my God, I'm so late. And immediately what happens in your brain is, I'm late. Everything's going to, and 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 the rest of your day turns out awful because you think, oh, I'm having such a bad day. And you believe that. And so it manifests throughout your day, right? So, and I'm sure you've had other examples where, have you ever had this? You meet a great person and you start dating that person and you've been looking for ages, um, and suddenly you feel euphoric, you feel so happy, you feel so content, and and or in that loved up honeymoon stage. And guess what? All your exes and other guys and gals or whoever you you were not interested in now show an interest in you. Why is that? Have you ever thought what is actually happening? It's something to do with your frequency or frequency of energy that you are emitting. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Now, before I get there, what you'll need today, if I haven't already, is to have a notebook, something like with paper pages that you can make notes on. So I want you to get your notebook out now and a pen, okay? And we are going to draw a mind map, okay? Those of you who worked with me before know that I love mind maps, okay? So get a clean page, and in the center, do a little circle, and you can write in the center something like wishes, or my goals, or my wants, whatever you want to put, whatever word works for you, right in the center. Okay. Now, then we're going to put some arms coming off your little bubble from the middle. And you're going to put these words, like, for example, work or health. These are the main areas of your life. It differs from person to person because some people might not be working, or they might be traveling or whatever. So you can put the main areas of your life into these bubbles. You can have as many bubbles as you want around the main bubble. Okay, so I've got here as an example, work, health, home, family or social, personal development. Now that's to do with your inner growth or learning new skills or whatever. And I've also got relationships, but you might want to put friends and family, whatever you want to put, okay? So I want you to draw this simply because I want you to get clear about what your goals and wishes are. So take a moment to do that. And as you do that, I'm going to explain what's happening. Okay. And then think about your goals for a minute. Now, it could be any bunch of goals that you like. It could be little goals. It could be lifetime goals. It could be things that you want, have always wanted. So, for example, you want a new job. It could be you want to go back to college and study. It could be you want to start a family. It could be you want to find the perfect partner. It could be you want to improve your health and get well. Any number of things. So you're welcome to share in the chat box if you want to share one of your goals with the group. And we can discuss a little more about that. If you don't, and it's totally private, that's fine, don't share. Okay, so I'm going to let you take your time to fill in the bubbles that come off of each of these areas. Now, you won't obviously have goals for every single one, and if you do, then you're going to feel overwhelmed. So you should have space around the whole thing, the rest of your goals. Okay, making sense? Wunderbar. Right. So let's talk a little bit about, now you've probably all tried manifesting. Some of you are adept at it. Some of you have had amazing successes, I know, because you've shared it with me. And some of you maybe have never even tried this. So here's where a lot of times we make mistakes. They're not really mistakes. It's where we go wrong because no one's actually told us why. One of the most important things, and this is why we're writing goals, is that people don't write their goals clearly. They don't even think about what their goals is, or they go from one thing to another. Well, I think I kind of want this job, but and another and then, well, perhaps I actually want to go freelance. But yeah, one day, and it's all a bit fuzzy. So when you're a bit fuzzy about your goals, your subconscious brain gets confused. And so you bring confusion into your life. Make sense? So that's one of the key areas. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Sometimes we have negative goals. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, we say things like, well, I don't want to be this weight. Or I don't want to work with this annoying boss. That actually happened to me. I had several bosses that were very annoying. So instead of focusing on what we do want, so sometimes our goals are focused on what we don't want. Now, you remember what I said about the brain, the subconscious brain, not knowing the difference between what's negative and what's positive, what's real and what isn't. So it just manifests whatever you tell it. So if you focus on what you don't want, you bring more of that into your life. I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to be late anymore. I don't want to, whatever it is. Don't say I don't. Say what you do want. Okay, I want to be on time. I want to have a job that has great people around me. I want to have a great boss. I want to be well paid. I want to be XYZ, whatever it is. So don't have negative goals. Another key problem that a lot of us make mistakes with is we focus on how we're going to get there, because that's what our conscious brain does. It tries to logically work out, problem solve, and figure out how we're going to get from A to B. And that's where we often get stuck in the how to. Now, with manifesting what you want to create into your lives, it's not about worrying so much about the how, because the how comes when you figure out exactly where you want to get to. So if you have a very clear goal about where you want to get to, the how will automatically come to you. I know that sounds a bit weird, but it's funny how the brain solves that problem when you give it a goal. Okay. Another thing that we all often do is we try too hard, and we are always trying this and trying that and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and overdoing. So when you chase something relentlessly, it doesn't always come. It's when you let it go. So you have to know a balance between doing enough, taking enough action, doing enough work to get your goal, to make that wish happen, and knowing when to relax and let go. So there's a balance, and it's about figuring out, okay, I've done enough work. I've sent out all my job applications. I've gone to the interviews. Now I need to let it go and see what comes. Okay. Another very, very important mistake, or not mistake again, it's something that we are not trained to do, and that is to listen to our gut feeling. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And the biggest one of all is having limiting beliefs. The problem with limiting beliefs is we don't even know we have them. Okay? So, are you all okay so far? Is this making sense? Say yes. Okay. So, one of the toughest things is our blocks and barriers in relation to our beliefs. Thank you, Jennifer. So, our beliefs are unfortunately hidden in our subconscious brain, the part of our brain that we don't always have access to and not consciously aware of. So, the conscious brain, as you all know, is what's doing your problem solving. You're awake right now, you're having conversations, you're interacting with others, you're dealing with your day-to-day stuff. That's your conscious brain stuff. Your unconscious brain holds all of your default programs, your long-term beliefs, your old memories, your childhood traumas. And these are all related to those beliefs. So one of the biggest things that get in the way of manifesting what we want are those old belief systems that are rooted in our childhood. Now, I don't have time today to help each and every one of you figure out exactly where that root cause is, but at least we can start, okay? So sometimes I call them unconscious default programs, and sometimes they are our habits. And actually, what happens is we get into these habits where, for example, you have an anxiety. Say, for example, you have an anxiety about being in public places with people you don't know. And it's a bit scary. And that is probably rooted in a belief system that started way back in your childhood when you were little and you can't even remember. Okay. And what happens is you find yourself in going to public places and, experiences where that worry, that anxiety repeats itself, becomes a habitual behavior. And so it gets reinforced and reinforced and fuels that fear. And so your goal might be, I want to be confident and I want to be happy in public places and with strangers and people I don't know. But your fear is so deep rooted, you don't even know it's there, that's keeping you in that habitual kind of thinking. So the trick is to recognize it. So you can start today by recognizing what your beliefs are. And the first step in doing that is becoming aware of your mind chatter. What are you thinking? What's going on in your head? Especially when you set yourself a goal, right? And here's what happens. You set yourself a goal, you set yourself a wish, a dream, and you probably do all the manifestation tips and tricks that you know. And then you go about your day and you think about it, and all the negative starts coming in, all the negative worries. What if what if that goes, what if? Okay, that's your mind chatter. So the first step is become more aware of that mind chatter and think about how much time you actually focus on all that negative stuff. So it's no good just writing your goals, doing your visualizations, creating what's it called, a vision board, and then spending 95% of your time worrying about it and thinking it's never going to happen, or so you go back to your default program. So the first thing to do is to become aware, and then ask yourself, where are these thoughts coming from? Are they mine, or were they installed by society, culture, family, friends, colleagues, stuff I hear on the media? Where are the thoughts actually coming from? Are they really mine? So if you can differentiate between what's yours and what's not yours, then you can start to do something about it. And if you are able, you can ask yourself, what is the underlying belief, from these thinking? So the thinking, for example, is I'm scared to go to a different country. Well, why am I scared to go to a different country? Is it the people? Is it strangers? Is it because I don't like foreign food? Or, I don't like flying. So that's the underlying belief. Oh, I'm scared of flying. So if you can recognize where the belief is, then you can start to make it smaller. It might not never go away, ever go away, but you can actually reduce its impact on your life. So the way to do it is to replace it with something positive. If you can think of something alternative that changes that routine behavior or that routine thinking that keeps holding you back, then you're on your way. Okay? So I've actually created a program where I can help you deal with these deep-rooted beliefs. We're not going to do it today, but this is just the start, and I hope that helps to help you figure out where you're going wrong, because manifesting doesn't work if your deep-rooted belief is that thing you want, you're not going to get. Okay? So we're going to change that. And the way we're going to do it is by understanding what's going on in our brains. You all with me? Say yes. Give me thumbs. I want thumbs and hearts, please. Okay. So our brains, when they measure our brains with an EEG machine, depending on what state we're in, meaning whether we're wide awake, full of energy, running around, or we're sleeping, or we're in between stage where we're half awake, that nice dozy feeling that you get when you're sitting watching TV late in the night, or you're reading a book and you're feeling really nice and cozy, relaxed, and your cat's on your lap and you're feeling calm. That's called the alpha level. So we have these different levels, or different, frequencies that our brain emits whilst we are in the different. Thank you. Hi, guys. So I'm glad you're all still here. Okay. So our brains can produce these different electromagnetic waves depending on what state we're in. Now, what is the magical creative frequency where we can manifest things? Do you know? Does anyone know? Put it in the comments. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so what it is if we want to change our beliefs and if we want to manifest something that we really want, we need to know how to get into that part of our brains where we are relaxed enough but still conscious, not asleep. Okay, so it's not the wide awake running around when you're stressed, because when you're stressed, you're at beta level. But when you're a bit more relaxed, you're at alpha level. And when you go down to theta, you're at hypnotic or almost sleep level. And delta is deep sleep. Okay, so the magical frequency is the alpha level. Okay. So how we're going to change the program and how we're going to access that subconscious belief that you need to change in order to manifest is to get into the alpha level. And it's very simple, actually. Did you know that? It's so simple, and you do it all the time. You do it when you are about to fall asleep or you wake up in the morning. Now, that's the most magical place. So you don't, whatever you do, look at your phone first thing in the morning. As she says, as she looks at her phone. Oh my goodness, are you still seeing the wrong PowerPoint? You should be on page 11 of my PowerPoint slides. Okay, the slides are not working. Dang. Okay, I'm going to switch off the slides. About that, guys. Yes, me. You got me. Okay, so what you need to do in order to change. Hello? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. I hope you can hear me still. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. Right. Ah, the PowerPoint was working, right? Okay, maybe I get back up again. Let's try again. Okay, in a minute. So, sorry about that. Where was I? When you can relax your mind to the alpha level, you can access your subconscious brain and those deep memories that you might want to change. So you can do that by first taking 3 deep breaths, closing your eyes, sitting back and relaxing, and then visualize that thing you want to change. So for example, if it's a fear, you can imagine the fear in color, in pictures, in sounds, whatever works for you. You can just say the words. So you can say, oh, well, I believe that I'm not worthy of being wealthy. Or the belief is I'm not good enough to meet the right person. Or whatever that belief is, you visualize that. And then you delete it. Okay. And you delete it, and then you remove the negative and you replace it with something positive. Okay. So if you can then replace it with something positive, which we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you how to do that. Then you start to install something that's going to break the problem that's been blocking you from manifesting what you want. Okay. And when you repeat that several times, ideally, if you can visualize that positive for 21 days, 28 days, every morning when you wake up, then you're going to change the old program. That default program will obliterate. My old program was I'm poor. Okay. Meaning I can't make enough money. And that was installed when I was a child, way before I can remember, because of the environment and the family I grew up with. Not their fault. It's just life. But when I recognized that that was my program, I decided I'm going to consciously change it. Guess what I did? I wrote down what I actually wanted, which is I am wealthy. And I saw myself at that level when I'm relaxed being wealthy, having abundance. And I'm sure we all want abundance. Say yes if you want abundance. Okay? Abundance in whatever: health, wealth, happiness, joy, laughter, fun, traveling, whatever you want to be abundant in. Okay? You can visualize that. But first you have to get rid of the negative. And that's one of the key things. Okay? Got it? Fabulous. Now, one more trick. And then let me just share this. Okay. Can you see this slide, which is the mind-body coherence slide? Hopefully you can see that now. Right. This is just an image that shows that when we can integrate what we are thinking in our minds, thank you, Anastasia, fabulous. When you can integrate what you're thinking with what you're feeling in your heart and what your gut says. Now, you remember I said gut feeling? Yes, thank you, thank you. Then you know you're on the right track. Now, the opposite is also true. Have you ever tried to manifest something? Give me an example. Say you want to manifest a good interview for a job, right? And you've done all the manifestation stuff at a conscious level. You've written down your goals. You've done your visualizing, and then you get this little feeling deep down in your gut that says, not sure about this company, but this job is great and it pays well and it's really what I want, right? But something in your gut says, And you go to the interview and you do your best, you present yourself as best you can, and you feel like, yes, that was successful, but still something in your gut is going, don't know what it is. So that's when you perhaps get that job, or perhaps you don't get that job. And then you find out what was really wrong. It was the people. You're never going to get on in that team. Or whatever it is, it manifests, right? Something goes wrong. Yeah, thank you, Jenny. You've had that, right? I've had that too. Many times. So when you do not listen to what your gut's saying, or your heart feels something else, when all of these are not in alignment, then what you're trying to manifest is not going to either work, or it will work and it's not going to make you happy. Okay, so that's the key. So be aware that when you are trying to manifest, that your mind, your heart, your body, your whole being says, yes, that's what I really want. Okay, right, let's manifest stuff. So let's talk about the law of attraction. I know you've already heard about this, so I'm going to run through this really quickly. And I see that time is flying. Woo! Now, I'm sure you've heard of these. What is the law of attraction? Has it been scientifically proven? Yeah, kind of. There are some studies out there that tell us that the law of attraction actually works. You can read Dr. Tara Swartz's stuff, which is fascinating. Wayne Dwyer, fabulous, amazing man, now passed, who talked about this throughout all of his books. He said, you create your thoughts, and your thoughts create your intentions, and your intentions create your reality. And of course, I don't know if you heard the one by Buddha, what we think we become. All that we are arises in our thoughts. And with our thoughts, we make or we create the world. Beautiful. But how? Yeah, that's your question, right? How? How does the magic happen? Well, the law of attraction, as you know, is based on energy. Everything is energy. We know that, but we still don't know how to make that energy happen for us, and do what we really want. How do we pull the rabbit out the bag, the hat? So if everything starts with our thoughts, first we have to have the right thought, and that's what we mean by attention. So your intention has to be in line with what you want, and therefore it will bring to your attention that which you want. Now, you remember I said this bunch of neurons in the back of our brain called the reticular activating system, or the RAS for short, that will, when you start to focus your intention on that which you want to create, your subconscious brain will automatically start to recognize those things, those opportunities, those possibilities that are in line with what you want to create. And when you add to the mixture love, plus your real authentic emotion, and a drop of gratitude that says, thank you for this, then you're on your way to making magic happen. This is the key. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Okay. Where are we? How are we doing? Everybody with me? Fabulous. So let's talk about your manifesting skills. Okay, 5 magic manifesting skills. This is all you need to remember. In combination of these 5, you will create what you want. Vision, mindset, action. Yes. Can't learn to play the piano just by sitting and looking at a screen. For example, release. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And gratitude. Okay. We all talk about gratitude, but we're not quite sure how. So I'm going to show you how. First, vision. So let's go back to your notebook where you did your little mind map. Okay. And I want you to look at those goals that you've written. Now, did you write only words? Okay, maybe you just wrote 1 or 2 words for the goals that you want. Okay. Okay, I've switched off the slide. I want you to pick one of those goals. Don't pick the biggest one, especially if you're new to this. Pick a small one. Okay. And I want you to write a sentence. Okay. By hand on paper. Now, this is extremely important because we don't write down our goals enough. Okay. Something magical happens in our brain when we write down on paper using a pen. Okay. So, for example, can someone share a goal with me? Something cool. Okay. Okay. Chat box doesn't move as fast as you write. Never mind. I'm going to give you one of mine. Long time ago. Hi, Vlad. Okay, you want to run 5 kilometers daily. Oh my goodness, that's very specific. I like that. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take that one goal and you're going to write a sentence. Now, this is very simple, like it's already happened, okay, in positive with using positive words. Okay, so for you, Vlad, you could write, I am so happy I can run 5K per day. Okay, so that's a health goal. Thank you for that. You want a new job, Crystal? Okay. I'm going to be very specific with this and write the goal as a positive affirmation. And that's what a positive affirmation is. You write it, A, in the present tense, like it's already happened, and you write it with positive words, and you add a bit of gratitude in there. So, like, I'm so grateful that I found my perfect job in whatever field it's in, okay? Or as whatever title it is, okay? And if you're looking for a partner, which I know not a lot of you are, you could say, I'm so happy and grateful I have found my perfect life partner. Okay. Or I am happy that I've completed XYZ project. Okay. So just one sentence. Okay. And we're going to focus on that. Right. So the next steps are, so once you've done that, you have written it on paper, you've been very specific about what that goal is. So don't write generalizations, okay? I want to lose weight. A, that's a negative, meaning lose weight. And B, it's not in the present. And C, it's not specific. It's better to say, I'm so happy that I'm healthy and fit and weigh XYZ kilograms, pounds, whatever you want to call it. Now, we're going to do the visualization. I'm going to show you how to imagine the outcome, but you have to write it like it's already happened and that it's positive. So that's creating your vision. Next is your mindset, which we've already talked about. So be aware of what is going on inside your thoughts, because your inner thoughts create your outer reality. And your thoughts are affected by your emotions and, of course, your beliefs, and how you get into that habitual cycle of reinforcing it. So if you create this goal that you've just written, okay, in order to create this goal, this wish, this dream, you have to change your mindset. And you do that doing the visualization I'm going to take you through and changing your way of thinking about it. So if it's something you want to get rid of, you want to see what the opposite positive is and imagine that. And when you find yourself going down the route of your default program, oh, I'm doing that same old negative habit again, then you can stop yourself and go, what do I replace it with? Okay, so that's slowly. Mindset doesn't change overnight. You have to do it step by step. Okay, good. And of course, you need to take actions. Now, best thing to do is do a little brainstorming, and you can do that right now on the next page, is list all the little actions that you can possibly take to make that goal come true. Okay, the things that you can physically, practically do in your real world, okay, to make that dream come true, to bring that thing into your reality. And taking action means opening your mind to possible new opportunities, okay, new ideas, new thoughts that come in. Because what happens is, us humans, you've probably heard this, we're very good at staying in our comfort zone and doing what we've always done. But if you always do what you always did, then you'll always get what you always got. I'm sure you've heard that one as well. So let's not carry on getting what we always got. If you want to change something, you need to change your thinking, and then you need to change your actions. but do it little by little. So don't give yourself such a hard time. And that takes me to the next point is self-care, meaning being kind to yourself, is absolutely essential to manifesting what you want. Okay? So keep notes of your progress towards achieving that goal. Okay? Take notes of the little wins that you get. Okay? Things that you've done well. Like, okay, you were scared of going to public places. You were scared of, I don't know, meeting new people, or scared of taking that leap of, your dream is to move to a lovely part of the world, the sunshine, where there's more sunshine and happy people, or a more easy life, whatever it is you've been dreaming of, right? My dream was to move here and find a country where I feel I can truly feel at home, and there's sunshine. Well, it's not today, but where it's warm and sunny, and we have more blue skies and sea. And I had visualized and imagined that for as long as I can remember, and it eventually came true. But I had to recognize the opportunity that came through and placed itself in front of me and said, okay, you can do this or you can do this, and I had to take that decision. It was a scary one. Of course it was, because it was outside the usual comfort zone, the box that I'm used to being in. But if I want to move there, I'm going to have to take that leap. So I did. Kept a safety net, okay? But my husband and I, took that leap. Another story. So keep notes of the little wins. Take care of your mistakes, because there's no mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes. So accept when you make an error and be kind to yourself, okay? But take those small practical steps and keep a record. Because what we tend to do is we tend to look up the mountain and go, oh, I still got that far to go. Instead of going, oh, look how far I've come up the mountain, and giving ourselves a pat on the back and saying, yes, well done. So that's taking practical action. Okay, now comes the important bit. So you've done your visualizing, you've done your meditating, you've written down your notes, you're taking action, you're doing all that you can. But that beloved person, or that perfect job, or that wonderful health is still not coming, because the universe has some other plan and you're not really sure what that is, and you're still doubting yourself. Well, this is the time to let go. And that's what I mean by release. Let me just share this with you. Okay. Release means letting go of the expectation or the attachment to the outcome. That doesn't mean you don't care anymore and giving up. Far from it. You still want that thing. But you have to cultivate trust and patience. So stop feeling this hunger, this desire that is beyond, just wanting something. Because usually what happens when we want something, we have to just open our arms and open our heart, and it comes. But if we chase after it and struggle and struggle and struggle, it just eludes us. So let go of desperation. And you do that at a point, like this release stuff, you do it at a point when you've done all the work. Okay. So I'll tell you a little personal story. I had wanted to find my perfect partner for years, and I tried everything. You name it, I tried it. But he didn't still show up. And it was when I learned what release meant, to let go and trust, that he showed up. And it was more amazing and is still more amazing than I can say in words. So thank you, honey. I'm not going to cry, but he's the most amazing partner, more than I've ever expected, because I finally learned what it means to say and believe that I deserve to be in a happy relationship. I've managed to manifest jobs. I've managed to manifest money. I've managed to create all kinds of things, like small things like having a good result to a meeting, finding a perfect holiday, finding the perfect car, all kinds of little things. But this one thing, this perfect relationship, was eluding me for years. And there was a reason, because I needed to get rid of the baggage and the blocks and the barriers that were deep rooted. And once I healed all of that, that's when he popped up. Magic? No. It's learning to use this and this and this. I'm holding my belly here. In coherence with all that you want to manifest. So it's like putting your order in at the restaurant. You want your pizza like this with all of these toppings, and you send your order to the restaurant. But you don't keep going and checking on the cook and the chef, and is my pizza ready yet? Do you? Because you have to learn to trust that the kitchen will deliver your meal when it's ready and cooked. Okay? And finally, gratitude. This is ultimately important. So, very simply, being grateful that abundance is coming to you, being grateful for all that you already have. So practice this higher level of appreciation. And it's pretty difficult sometimes to be appreciative, especially when you're going through all kinds of shit and life is hard. But when you look back and you celebrate the small wins, you already get into that frequency. That, you remember I talked about the energy that you're emitting. If your energy is positive and you are floating in a bubble of gratitude most of the time, if you remember all your previous achievements, you can even create a gratitude board, not a vision board. You can create a gratitude board of all the things you are extremely happy for. And that starts to change and shift the mindset so that you can attract what you truly want. Sounds amazing. Okay, are you ready to put this into practice? Say yeah. Okay, I'm going to take you through a very short, simple visualization. I know we're going over 1 hour, but I hope you're still with me, because this is super important. Okay, I want you to sit back in your chairs. Okay, put down your notes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, through your mouth. This relaxes the whole body. Okay. Take another deep breath, and as you take a deep breath, I'm doing it with you. And let it out slowly. I want you to imagine that you're walking alongside the sea or a river or somewhere beautiful in nature on a path. Take another long, deep breath. And as you do, as you exhale, let go of all your concerns and worries. And what's going to happen later and what's happened before and what you're doing the rest of the weekend. Forget all of that for a moment and just enjoy this moment in this beautiful place where you love to be. And just breathe normally and follow my voice. I'm going to take you along this path to a beautiful place. Now, it could be a garden. or it could be a room. Now find yourself in this beautiful place where you feel very much at peace. It could be a garden surrounded by flowers and trees and meadows, or whatever you like. Could be a field, could be on the beach, and it's a beautiful, glorious sunshine day, not too hot, just warm enough. And you're listening to the ocean. Listen to the sounds that you can hear. Listen to the waves, the air, the wind, the breeze, the trees. Maybe you can even imagine what you can smell. This is all in your imagination. So when you imagine something like this, it takes your mind off in all the stuff that you constantly worry about and drops your thinking from your conscious to your subconscious. And that's where we're going. So continue walking along the path and find yourself in this beautiful place. And ahead of you, I want you to see a door. You walk up towards the door. It's a familiar door. You feel very comfortable as you walk through the door. And on the other side of the door is a very safe space. It's your space. It's your private space. It could be a room or a garden or a house. And it can be anything you want it to be. I want you to imagine this perfect space where only you go. It's your private space. And you can fill it with furnishings and scenery that makes you happy, that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel at ease. And in the center of this room, this space, is a comfy place to sit, like a sofa or some cushions. And you sit down on this comfy place, and beside you is a little keyboard or a remote control. And it operates a screen. Oh, now you see there's a big screen in front of you, like could be a round screen, because this is a magical screen. Okay, a magical screen. And in this screen, you can see anything you want. You can see the past, present, the future, whatever you want. So when you see the screen in front of you, take up your keyboard or your remote control, and you're going to press play. And when you press play, a picture emerges. Let your brain create whatever it wants to create in this picture, and see on the screen an image of the goal that you wrote, as though it's already finished, accomplished, achieved. You have this thing, this person, this relationship, this home, this health, this well-being, this whatever it is, the goal. I want you to see it playing on the screen. I'm going to give you a moment to enjoy this image. See it like a video playing. It fills you with joy. It's beautiful. You see yourself looking happy, looking grateful, looking and being completely satisfied and joyful. Okay. Now I want you to get up and go towards the screen. Now imagine you can put your hand through it, like the fairy tales where you can step through a mirror. So now I want you to step into the screen and into this image. You are now feeling what it is to having this goal, this wish already in place. See it, feel it. You've done it. You've done it. You feel elated. You feel extremely grateful. Just swim in this feeling of gratitude like it's already happened. It has happened. You made it happen. You brought this and manifested it into your life. Say thank you, universe, God, angels, myself. Let's thank myself. I made it happen. Whatever you want to thank. Now, I want you to see the final image. Take a snapshot, like a photo, and put it in your pocket. Step out of the screen. Step back into your room, back onto your sofa where you were, and close the screen. Imagine it disappear. Now stand up, and we're now going to come out the way we came in. I want you to let all of this go, but you've still got a picture in your pocket. Take it with you. Now, come through, out of the room, out of the house, out of the garden, through the door where you came in, and we're going to walk back along the path. Slowly, slowly walk back along the path, coming back to the here and now, coming back to wide awake, coming back to feeling refreshed, re-energized, ready for the day. Taking with you everything that you saw. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and have a big stretch. Feeling happy, content. How do you feel? Good? Great? Amazing? I want you to take your notebook now, and underneath where you wrote your goal, your affirmation, your positive affirmation, I want you to write down some notes and describe the thing that you saw when it was already accomplished, finished, achieved. Okay, your goal. Can you do that? Give me a thumbs up. Are you all still with me, or are you still sleeping? So what you're going to do is, now that you visualize this amazing goal, well done, you're going to take that snapshot with you to bed. Okay, and when you go to sleep tonight, you're just going to dwell on that image for like 10-20 seconds. That's it. And you're going to say that positive affirmation in your head. And then when you wake up in the morning, thank you, you're going to do it again. Okay, you're going to visualize having already accomplished that goal. Now, depending on what your goal is, you want to do this little visualization morning and night for, say, 5 days, 10 days, 21 days. Do it for a month max, and then release it. Okay, and that's very important. Keys to release it. So I'd love to hear from you about how it went for you, what you saw, and or did you see something different? How did it make you feel? So the key here, let me just share my screen again. Yeah, and this is the most powerful ingredient, is to use positive emotion when you visualize what you want. So that feeling of gratitude, that love and happiness that you felt for what it was you wanted, that joy or kindness, or all of these positive emotions raise your frequency, okay? Raise your energy. Now, going back to what we talked about at the beginning, when you raise your energy, that's when you attract more of what you want. That's when you attract abundance, okay? Is that exciting or what? Okay. I hope that was good for you. So we're nearly done. Now, if you haven't done this before, I want you to start small and practice with little things. Do some fun manifesting things. When you flex your muscle for manifesting, meaning you practice this and you make things come into your reality, and it happens more than once, it happens more than 10 times, you know this is not coincidence. This is you manifesting your reality. So start small. Visualize getting a call from a friend that you haven't heard from in a while. Or visualize that you found the perfect thing that you were looking for as a gift for your mum or your friend or whatever. I've done this when I've been in a real hurry and I needed to find the perfect gift, and I did it very instantly, very short. Woke up in the morning, oh, I need to get blah blah blah, and I visualize the things, and bam, I go shopping. I am not sure what that is, and I see this shop that I hadn't seen before, and I go in, and I'm like, oh, this is the thing that she wants. Yeah, and I find it, and it just happens like that. Okay, you can manifest that. Parking spots, maybe you've done this. If you drive a car and you need to find a parking spot, visualize finding the perfect parking spot. When you start your journey, let it go. You don't need to go and do all the deep meditation. You can just close your eyes before you start your car and go, I am seeing myself arrive safely and I found the perfect spot. Say it, let it go. Drive, get there, it's there. This happens so often that it's nuts. So try it. Or you can visualize having a good meeting at work, or a successful presentation, or just sunshine for an important day where you need to be outside and do something. I don't know, for an event. Wouldn't that be amazing? Try that. And this will build your confidence when it comes to manifesting. Honestly, it's amazing. Now, what have I got to tell you? That's about it. And I want you to go and start writing down all your goals on separate pages on your notebook. Now, one of the most important things, don't do too much in one go. So if you've got big goals, don't try to visualize 10 goals at the same time. Okay? Start small, do little ones, then go on to bigger ones. Okay? When you get good at this, you'll find that, oh, here we go. When you get good at this, you'll be able to do it in an instant, meaning you have a thought, you create it in your mind, you do it waking like this. Close your eyes and you go, today I want to have a really good day. By the end of today, I want to have this feeling of, yes, thank you, gratitude. I'm so happy that that meeting went well. I'm so happy that I found the perfect place to park. I'm so happy. Thank you. I was able to say the right words when I did my live presentation on online for my work. That's what I did. Okay. Afterwards, I'm going to have this feeling, yes, I did it. Okay. So when you visualize that for just a moment, let it go. Go about your day. See what happens. Because what you're doing is you're dipping down into the alpha level, that magical alpha level, where you can get your subconscious to do the work for you. Amazing, yeah? So let's get more of our subconscious to do the stuff first. And let's stop trying and working so hard with our conscious brains to make things happen. Okay. Now, one of the things that I haven't talked about yet is, where do you go from here? So there's a number of things you can do. You can do this exercise, right? Write the goals. Okay, number one, write the goals. Number two, visualize maybe 2 or 3 per day that you want, not more, until they're achieved. And make notes of your accomplishments. Okay, write down, I got this far today, I did that much today, and 1 kilometer today, I managed to eat greens. Whatever. Okay, make notes of your progress. Okay, those are things you can do. Now, if you find that you're still feeling blocked and something is eluding you and you know it's deep down in your beliefs, but you can't quite get to it, I am looking to work with you. I'm going to offer for the next 5 months personal guided coaching. Okay, let's go to sharing again. Offer this special manifesting guidance offer where I'm going to run a workshop with just 5 of you. And if you want to take part in this, I will help you get rid of whatever that block is. I'm going to do my very best, okay? I'm going to coach you to getting down to the root of it, pulling it out by the root, and healing that part of you that's been blocking you for so long. Okay, so if you want to work with me to manifest your goals, I would love to hear from you. Please send me a personal message. You've got my contacts, okay? And I will offer you this as a small group workshop over the next 5 months, 1 workshop per month, plus you'll get 2 coaching sessions and all of my tools and guidance in between. And this whole package was just €300 for the next 5 months. So if you want to sign up for this, let me know. Some more information. Okay, that's it for me today. I want you to say yes if you enjoyed this, and I would love for you to give me, please, a little bit of feedback, how useful this was. Okay, and if you're going to use it, say yes, I'm going to use it, and you give me marks out of 5 if you like, or out of 10, whatever you want for the workshop. I hope you will manifest your dreams, and yeah, let's make this year an amazing year. Let's make those dreams come true. Let's manifest together a better world. Because when you create what you want, and I know it's a positive thing, that creates a ripples effect, okay, for all the people around you. And when they see that you are bringing abundance and happiness into your life, they will feel inspired. And so it creates this space. And that is why I'm here today. And my mission is to change your thinking so we can change. I love you all. Ciao.